is overrated, and he's like looking at me with his mouth. I'm like, you did not just say that. Like, he's not overrated. I understand that, but I remember thinking that when I first started getting interested in football, and it's not that I think he is overrated, but I do think he's like overpraised. It's just too much sometimes. Anyways, all of that to say, not a Chiefs hater, but it does make it hard to root for them. So, otherwise, Travis, he popped off in that game. I always like watching him. I love watching Isaiah Pacheco. He's really fun to me. I saw his interview clip where they said that he runs like he's gonna bite, which then you go back and watch him run, and it's like, wow, he really does run like he's gonna bite somebody, So, in terms of my predictions for this game, I feel like with the hype of the Chiefs and with their momentum right now and the Taylor Swift karma that's been happening this year, and then just the Chiefs' tendency to be kind of clutch, I would think that they're winning this game. But I think the cooler outcome that I myself am hoping for would be for Mr. Irrelevant to come through and win a Super Bowl. I think that would be really fun to watch. I just feel like this is how I would, my bold prediction, that's what me and my boyfriend call it sometimes, like a bold prediction. Like, the nail on the head, that would be crazy, but this is what I think. I feel like maybe the 49ers are gonna, come out on top in the first half and maybe lead by like 2 or 3 possessions, maybe. And then after halftime, the Chiefs' clutch gene will kick in, and in somewhat typical Kyle Shanahan fashion, the 49ers would lose a 20-ish point lead in the Super Bowl, which I was not watching football at the point that happened to the Falcons when he was offensive coordinator there, but I just remember I have a lot of friends who are Falcons fans, and it was a sad time for them. I don't know. I did read somewhere that if Kyle Shanahan does win the Super Bowl, then him and his dad would be the only father-son NFL coaches to have both won a Super Bowl, I think, which is sweet and all and cool, I guess. But I also just am like, nepotism, you know what I mean? I don't know much about Kyle Shanahan or Mike Shanahan.